Hello, this is Nick from the YouTube channel The Shogunate, and in this video for Clash of Katanas, we are going to be discussing the Uesugi clan, specifically during the Sengoku Jidai. The Uesugi are one of the greatest names of Japan's Warring States period, up there with the likes of the Takeda, Mori, and of course, the clans of the three great unifiers. Yet, their main call to fame is indeed that of their legendary daimyo Uesugi Kenshin, the Dragon of Echigo, a figure who would restabilize the family and clash with Takeda Shingen over 5 iconic battles at Kawanakajima. However, unlike many of the other families we discuss here, the Uesugi actually began the Sengoku Jidai in a very strong position, controlling much of the influence in the east and having control over various provinces including Echigo, Kotsuke, and Musashi. The Uesugi family had also long held the coveted title of Kanto Kanrei, a shogunal appointed position which gave them jurisdiction over the significant Kanto region. The main issue, however, early on was that the power of the Uesugi was largely disjointed, as several sub-branches of the family ruled over the different parts of the clan. This meant that although they appeared large and mighty, they, in reality, did not exercise tremendous military strength. This would famously be seen with the rise of the later Hojo clan, initially under Hojo Son, who would snatch control of the Kanto region away from the Uesugi. For decades, the Uesugi would battle hard against the Hojo in aims to retake the region, but to no avail, as their power continued to dwindle and their territory continued to shrink. Yet the future of the Uesugi would soon be saved. By the early 1550s, the Nagao clan was one of the strongest of the Uesugi's vassal families, and at this point was under the leadership of the young Nagao Kagetora. With the Uesugi in great danger of collapse, the current head of the Uesugi, Uesugi Norimasa, took refuge with Kagetora. It was here Kagetora managed to seize the opportunity to take advantage of his situation. Kagetora argued in favor of re-strengthening the Uesugi clan by having himself adopted into the family and being named the new heir, along with receiving the title of Kanto Kanrei. With little other choice, Norimasa agreed. Thus, Nagao Kagetora became Uesugi Kagetora. However, as we know, he would one day assume a new name. Being a very pious figure, he would eventually adopt his famous Buddhist title, Kenshin. With Kenshin in control, the situation began to turn around. Kenshin immediately proved himself to be a very skilled leader, thrashing out against the Hojo, and eventually coming to blows with his largest rival, Takeda Shingen. Shingen had been pushing north into Shinano province, and with Shinano having fallen almost entirely to him, he was soon threatening the Uesugi Echigo border. Kenshin would rush down to face him, and over the course of the next decade, the rivals would clash 5 times over the Kawanakajima plain, with their most legendary encounter being the 4th battle in 1561. In the end, although Shingen would succeed in taking almost all of Shinano, Kenshin would hold firm and permanently halt the Takeda's northern push. Throughout the 1570s, Kenshin would turn his attention eastward as he began pushing into Echu and then looking further to Kaga and Noto. In time, he would end up clashing with the forces of Oda Nobunaga at the Battle of Tedorigawa in 1577, a final momentous victory that crushed the Oda army. Sadly, however, the Uesugi would never be able to capitalize on this, as Kenshin would pass away 1 year later. He would leave the clan in the hands of his 2 adopted sons, Uesugi Kagekatsu and Uesugi Kagetora. This new Kagetora had been given the same name Kenshin had once assumed, as the boy had been adopted from the Hojo clan, originally known as Hojo Saburo. He was sent to the Uesugi as a political hostage to ensure peace between their 2 clans. Yet now, with Kenshin gone, a civil war soon erupted within the family as both Kagekatsu and Kagetora vied for power. This brief clash would be known as the Otate no Ran and would cripple the Uesugi for years to come. They would eventually fall in line under the Oda clan and later the Toyotomi, having no real strength left to challenge the mightier powers in the land. Eventually, they would even be relocated to Aitsu Domain in Lower Mutsu province, although Kagekatsu would end up being named one of the Gotairo, the 5 regents or elders in charge of watching over Japan and raising Hideyoshi's son and heir after Hideyoshi died. So when Hideyoshi passed away in 1598, Kagekatsu was quickly seen to be opposite to the rising threat of Tokugawa Ieyasu, who wished to seize power. The Uesugi posed a serious threat to the Tokugawa and could have stormed down into the Kanto region and sacked Edo while Ieyasu was currently positioned at Osaka. However, when conflict finally begun leading up to the Great Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, Ieyasu's allies in the north, the Date and Mogami, would perform a counterattack against the Uesugi that would tie them down long enough for Ieyasu to win the war. In the aftermath, the Uesugi would live on, however, in a majorly reduced state. Yet, they would survive the Edo period and are still one of the most significant samurai clans that live on to this very day.